Good morning, I am Melanie. I'm from Soft Landings Waterfowl Rescue and from CoopBusters. And this morning we are going to work with a chicken who has sour crop. So if you look here, we can see that her crop is pretty big. And when I do a little bit of touching on it, she kind of makes this burpy noise because she's got yuck in her crop. I've already been working on her a little bit this morning. She's already kind of over me. So I'm going to show you a few of the tools that I have here. First thing is this little baby snot sucker. I prefer the bulb kind, like this. I get them at the dollar store, Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, whatever. Look in the baby aisle. You can usually get this along with another piece for about $1.50. Sometimes they're on sale for 99 cents. So I keep a number of these on hand, and the reason you want one of these is because if anything happens and she starts to aspirate, this can be a lifesaver because you can quickly suck some of that yuck out of her throat and her crop. So the other thing I have on hand is a pair of tweezers, just a standard pair of tweezers here. And the tweezers are to help me clean out my tube. So I have a cup which has some water in it from my favorite restaurant, Baby Jack's. We have a complete collection of these cups, service for about 150. They're good for everything. So if you have a restaurant that you frequent and you get those kind of cups, save them. They're really good for all kinds of animal things, and then you don't feel so bad when you do have to get rid of them. This is a 60 cc tube. You can find them pretty much anywhere. I get mine in bulk from Amazon. And this is an 18 French catheter for tube feeding. And I get mine, you can get them from the Squirrel Store online. You can get them from a lot of different rescue stores. You can get them also from my favorite place to shop, which is Springwater Avian Farm. And that's at springwateravian.farm. And they carry the feeding tube sections like this too. So what we're going to do here, and this is Winbree. Say hi, Winbree. Say I don't feel good. You can tell my crop is distended. My comb is really kind of floppy and I just don't feel good. It's been really hot here and this is a bad time of year for this. They eat a lot and they drink a lot and then it ferments, which, you know, yeast is one of those wonderful things that we use to bake bread. Yeast is a wonderful thing that we use to make beer and alcohol with. So if you think about what's in their food and the fact that their food is basically the ingredients for bread or beer, then when they get very hot and that yeast starts to form in their crop, they're basically like fermenting in here. Their crop gets big and round, they don't eat, they're not processing their food properly. And when you pick them up, sometimes they'll spit out water because they're drinking a lot, trying to get that to process through, and it's not happening for them. You have to be very careful with them. Don't pick them up and put pressure on that crop. You don't want them to regurgitate because when they regurgitate, that's your chance for aspiration. And a lot of places you will see a video showing you how to turn your chicken over and make them vomit. This is a very bad idea. If you don't know exactly what you're doing, first of all, you can cause them to get that into their windpipe and suffocate, or get it into their lungs and their air sacs and cause them to get pneumonia and die. Usually, though, if you manage to get that where they aspirate, they will just pass away pretty much in your arms, and it's a terrible, terrible thing, and I don't want anybody to have to go through that. So the very best thing to do, not to do that, okay? If you can't do what I'm about to do, then contact somebody in your area that does this, or contact somebody that you know that's a friend of yours that is good with medical things, and see if they can help you. But this is a really important tool to add to your arsenal. So I'm going to take the tube, and first of all, we do not ever attach a tube with anything attached to it, okay? I want to make sure that this has as much liquid, because I've been using it, it's got as much taken out of it as possible so I don't have as much chance of causing any issues if I do get it in her windpipe. I don't ever want anything attached to this. When I put this in, I want it to be blank, because that way if I do go in the wrong place, then I'm not pushing water or any kind of fluid or food or anything else into the wrong hole. So I'm going to try to show you what's inside their mouth. She is semi-cooperative, but not the best. So we're going to look up close inside her mouth, and it's not doing a very good job. If you look inside their mouth, you'll see that they have two holes. They have a big hole that goes all the way down into their crop. And then off on one side, you'll see a little opening. That is their windpipe. You do not want this tube to go into their windpipe. So we're going to take the tube, we're going to slip it in. I go down the side, and I can actually physically see it going down into her crop, okay? Now, she is, like I said, about 50% over me today already. Then I'm going to feel, okay? I can feel the tip of my tube is here. So I'm going to put it on a little bit further. I can feel the tip of my tube is right here where my finger is moving. So I know that that's in her crop. I'm push it in just a little bit further so I make sure I get it into that mass of ick that's in there, okay? Now I'm going to take my syringe and I'm going to draw up some water into it, just a little bit, not a whole lot. And I'm holding her, but I'm not choking her. I'm not trying to keep her, just trying to keep her head still and keep her from spitting my tube out, okay? Sometimes you have to let go. Sometimes they will shake their head and spit the tube out a little bit and you have to start over. It does help if you have an assistant. So, again, before I attach this, I want to know where my tip is. So I can feel around. I feel the tip of my tube right there. That's good. That's where I want it. I'm going to attach this, and I'm going to slowly put this in, and it's just a little bit of semi-warm water. And I can feel it going in. Now, I'm very gently going to work that around, and I can feel all of that yuck in there. Okay, and I'm gently working it around, and then I'm going to slowly pull back. And see, she is like, no, do not want, thank you very much, not interested. So I'm going to take the tube off, clean it out as best I can, shake it out. Come here, sweetheart. Come here, sweetheart. I know, you're over me. I'm sorry, but we've got to keep doing this because we've got to make you better. Okay, so we've got the tube in again. I'm holding it here. I can feel the tube right here. I can feel where the tube is going down into her crop. So I'm holding it here. I'm not squeezing. I'm just very gently putting my fingers there to keep her from spitting it back out so easily. Okay, I have my tube, and I'm going to pull back. And you see I have ew coming up. So now I'm going to push back a little bit of that air. I'm going to do it again. Okay, so we've got a little bit. I'm going to wiggle my tube around a little, feel around where my tube tip is, try and break up any of that mass in her crop. Make sure my tube is where there's stuff that I need to clean out. No, quit squirming. Quit squirming. Okay, so we got a little bit more. Push that, wiggle it around, feel around, move your tube. Again, you want to always know where your tube is. Okay, you always know where your tube is. Okay, so I'm not getting any more. She tells me it's probably clogged, so I'm going to pull the tube out. We want to do that in one quick motion. Whoop, like that, okay? I know, you are not my friend right now. You're just not my biggest fan. Okay, so this is what we've got, and this is what I've already been cleaning out of her today. So yeah, it's gross. So we're going to push that out, and as you can see, I've got some solid material that's coming out of the tube, which is why we weren't able to draw any further. So I'm going to knock all that off, and I'm going to find my little standard tip tweezers here. And if there's any material in these holes that are on the end of the tube, then we want to clear that out because we don't want to have anything yucky still in there. And I'm just going to suck some air in and finish emptying the tube. You're going to want a towel. I'm just telling you, this stinks. It smells like half fermented stuff. It's disgusting, and it'll be a smell you remember. Should I be wearing gloves? Probably, but I have neuropathy in my fingers due to rheumatoid arthritis. So wearing gloves means I have less tactile sensation, and I really have a hard time with that. Soap and water is good. She doesn't have anything I can catch from her. It's just disgusting. So yes, wear gloves by all means. If you are much more comfortable in gloves, please do so. So put the tube back in. Again, nothing attached to the tube. I can feel where it's going. She's like, I don't want that tube, Mama. I can feel where it's going. I can feel the tip of my tube right here. Slip it in. Hook this on. Again, no pressure. I'm just holding her head steady, okay? No pressure. Draw down on the tube. Push back, wiggle it around. Ooh, yuck. When we're doing anything with the crop, we want to be very gentle, because again, we do not want to cause them to regurgitate or spit that out. So I can feel there's solids here, but those solids, of course, are not digesting properly. So they're not coming out through the tube because they're too big. And that's the purpose of putting the water in, is to kind of break up those solids a little bit. Okay, again, I'm not getting anything. My tube is probably clogged. So I'm going to pull my tube off and empty it out. From what I started with this morning, I can feel that her crop is about 25% of what it was this morning. There's still a little bit of solids right here, but it's not a big ball, and I'm massaging it a little and it seems to be broken up. It's normal for them to have some grit in their crop, so that's probably a little bit of grit. She's tired. She's okay, but she's tired. It's been a tough morning for her. So I'm going to let her relax a little bit, and then I'm going to give her a little bit of water and let her drink that on her own. And then I'm going to probably tube feed her this morning, which involves doing the exact same thing, putting the tube in the proper hole. And I use a tube feeding solution that I get from Springwater Avian, and I'm going to give her some of that solution and give her a good healthy feeding. And the solution that I'm going to use is just the mix, the food mix, plus a little bit of egg and a little bit of water. And what that'll do is that'll give her some nutrition that's very easy to digest. It's not corn and grain. It's not going to continue to cause her issue with her crop problems. And it's going to give her a little bit of strength and get her kind of back on her feet, we hope. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Please comment, please like, please give me any feedback that you have. Again, I'm not a veterinarian. I'm not a veterinary assistant. I've been taught how to do this by trained rescuers and veterinary assistants, and it is a very important skill to have if you are capable of learning it and you feel comfortable with it. But If you don't, please don't ever try anything that you're not comfortable with on your own. And please, if you have the ability, see your veterinarian. Support your veterinarian. They will take care of you. If you do not have a poultry health veterinarian where you are, ask if they will at least teach you the proper methods for tube feeding. I'm sure that they can assist you with that, or maybe some of their techs can assist you with that. And sometimes maybe they can teach you a little bit on the side and earn a little bit extra money by giving you some classes in how to do a few of these simple things for your poultry if you don't have a poultry vet that can assist you on a regular basis. I know a lot of places, they don't see these companion chickens as our friends. They see them as farm animals, they see them as food animals, and when they see them, they say, well, I guess you should just cull her. And for a lot of us, that's not an acceptable answer. The answer we need is, can we fix it? Is there something we can do to help our little friend and maybe not have to just put them to sleep for every little issue? So I've had this work successfully on a number of chickens. You do not want to let it go too long. You do not want to let a sour crop progress. First of all, they lose a lot of weight very quickly. She's very thin. We had a week here where we did not have any air conditioning in the house. And she's a spoiled girl. She lives on my patio with the special needs crew because she doesn't know she's a chicken and she can't be around a lot of other chickens. And so I didn't have air conditioning for her. I brought her in. She was in this big room with us in her pen, but she didn't have it as cool as she's used to, and things were just crazy. It was not a normal situation for her in any stretch of the imagination, and she is a spoiled little girl who doesn't do well with change. So it was a hard week for her, and it started then, and we've been working with it a little at a time, and I've been trying to give her coconut oil and grit and see if we could get her calmed back down, but it's just progressively gotten to where she's not able to eat, and her comb is very sad looking, and I'm worried about her. So I brought her in, I started doing this. I have added a little water to this because I've been using my syringe full of water, but this is what we got out of her. So you can see that in the bottom there's a lot of solids. Those solids are everything from food and corn to a little bit of the scratch that she had access to. There was some plant material in there that was not processed through that may have been the beginning of this. Sometimes if they don't process plant material or it's too fibrous for them, then it will start to bind up along with other things. This is my veterinary assistant here over here, Ernie. He likes to be a part of everything and be friends with all the chickens. So thank you for watching. If there's any question, please contact me. My Facebook page is CoopBusters. It's like Ghostbusters, but for your coop. And if you want to ask any questions, want to contact me, please do so. And please take care of your companion animals. Love them. That's the most important thing. If there's nothing else you do, love them. Winbury and I say thank you and have a wonderful day, and peace be with you and with your flock. And I ain't afraid of no goose. CoopBusters, thanks. Bye.